Phin Nation? Welcome back to the #1 show for the Miami Dolphins here at FAU. It's your boy, Big Guapo.
I'm Alfredo, the leader of Two and On.
And it's your boy, Anthony, a.k.a. The Truth.
Oh, today you're the truth.
Well, we picked it, right?
Huh?
We picked the Dolphins to win.
Yeah.
I'm the truth. I'm the truth. I'm the truth.
Okay, so far he's the truth. All right, well, it's been an exciting week for the Dolphins. I mean, the trade deadline just ended, and we got a few players out of it.
We bolstered our pass rush with a huge addition of Bradley Chubb. A big concern with people heading into the latter parts of the season and potentially the playoffs was that the Dolphins can't pressure elite quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes without blitzing and being too reliant on the blitz. Now we have another pass rusher to play next to Jalen Phillips, so that's going to be huge in terms of pressuring quarterbacks later on in the season in these high-intensity games and in cold weather games especially.
Yeah, Chubb, when he plays, he's one of the best pass rushers there is. The only thing is his injury history is a little concerning, but he looks fine. We also got Jeff Wilson, got rid of Edmonds, thank God, and Jeff Wilson I think is serviceable. He's had some big games. He's a good third down back, come in when we need Mostert to take a little rest. So I think we made good moves at the end of the deadline.
Yeah.
He's Jeff Wilson is familiar with McDaniel's system already, so he's going to be one that we can plug right in, and since he's familiar with the offense, he can be serviceable right away. And I know we already touched on Bradley Chubb, but he's a former Pro Bowler, already has 5 sacks on the season, so it's definitely a great addition to our defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who Bradley Chubb was when we got the deadline, because let's be honest, who follows the Broncos?
Yeah, he's one of the best, though.
Absolutely tanking, but after reviewing his size, 26 tackles, 5.5 sacks. That's already more than our highest player with the highest sack rate already in the Dolphins, which is I think Jalen Phillips with 3. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm expecting our pass rush to severely increase. And Jeff Wilson also a great addition, a great replacement for Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Greer, man, the last 2-3 years has been cooking. Like, it's insane looking back all these years. Like, I know this has been run to death on Twitter, but looking back on that particular video of Laramie Tunsil before the year he got drafted is the reason we ended up with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek and Tua, now Bradley Chubb. Like, it's insane the domino effect that's had.
It's really exciting to be a Dolphins fan. And we're just coming back from a win against the Detroit Lions over there in Detroit. And, pretty exciting game. I mean, kind of nerve-wracking in the first half, I'm not going to lie, because absolutely no defense was being played. They were scoring left and right on the field, and I was like, don't tell me we're about to lose to Jared Goff and the Detroit, Michigan Lions. But come on, man.
I was so confused at what was happening. I'm like, what is this? Like, what are we doing on defense?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, like, we just came off I know the Steelers' offense isn't, like, one of the best in the league, but we held them to 10 points. Defense has put a lot of good performances together throughout the season, and then all of a sudden, it's 14-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, quick like that.
They allowed 3 touchdowns on the first 3 drives for the Lions. Like, it looked like nothing like the defense we've seen all season. But I was telling my friends, I think the defense purposely let them score that so they can really show Tua's greatness.
Well, like you said, it was just a poor start. The fumble right on our first possession, gave up 2 touchdowns back-to-back, then we finally scored. But I just think that the defense, I don't know, it was completely night and day from what we saw last week. Like you said, it was so concerning to see because it happened so quickly. But after a while, they settled down, and eventually they got a bunch of stops. And in the second half, they didn't give up a single point. So
yeah, like you were saying, the fumble, Braylon Sanders, straight out of practice squad, first touch of the game, bro, and he fumbles it to Malcolm Rodriguez. Now, let me tell you something. When I saw Rodriguez on the jersey, I got hyped. I was like, that's representation. But then he started doing the madness on our whole offense, and I was like, okay, bro, he's got to chill now. All right, where did this guy come from? Now, like, I have never heard this guy before, Malcolm Rodriguez. Now he's all over our offense, making tackles left and right, and I was like, okay, somebody, like this is great. In terms of representation, Rodriguez, let's go. But you gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill. You're doing too much.
And I mean, like you said on representation, I would like to see more like Hispanic
players that
yeah,
are the kickers.
Yeah, the kickers.
in the NFL. That would be nice to see. But on the Dolphins side, I mean, just imagine making your NFL debut and on the very first play getting hit, stick, and fumble.
Yeah, that was pretty
It's
amazing.
got to be tough. But,
No, bro.
but regardless, the offense looked great. I know it's tough considering that the defense obviously gave up 27 points in the first half, and we barely beat a team that was 1-5 or 1-6 going into this game. But regardless, like Tua had one of his top 5 performances of his career. I think threw for 382 yards on 29 completions. Had 3 touchdowns. Obviously, Tyreek and Waddle looked like the best receiver duo that they've been all season. Tyreek didn't have a touchdown, but had 188 yards on 12 catches, while Waddle had 106 yards on 8 catches and 2 touchdowns. I think the offense showed great resilience to come back down from 14-0.
Yeah, now that's what I was saying. Most of the games, I felt like the defense was the one that was carrying the game, and the offense just couldn't let up. This one, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Defense was not doing anything, and the offense had to carry their own, their second half of the way on the other side of the field. But we got it done. Tua was able to come back. Like as you were saying, Tyreek and Waddle, almost the best duo in the league.
Not for sure the best, dude.
Okay, yeah, for sure the best duo in the league.
But look at how much better Waddle looks like with Tua under center. Like that makes me excited to see the Jets again after that little troll they had when we played them against a third string quarterback.
Yeah, we finally got to see Waddle do the Waddle.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah,
Keep
twice.
that same energy when we see them later on this year.
Yeah.
That hasn't left my mind.
They're on final game. Bro.
Yeah, and I know it hasn't left
Yeah,
Jalen
final
Waddle's
game.
mind.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, now we look ahead to the Bears, another away game in another city up north. I know we played in a dome last weekend, but now we're going to be playing in cold weather, and that's something that the national media for some reason has made such a big deal out of, like whether or not this offense and Tua in particular can show up in these cold weather games. How are you guys feeling about the Bears?
I mean, the Bears, I don't feel like there'll be much of a challenge, especially after last week. They got stomped out by the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, I understand the Dallas Cowboys have a strong offense and defense, but I think our team is able to compete up to that level, especially now with Bradley Chubb, right? Fields has already been sacked like 31 times this season, all right? So their offensive line is non-existent.
Yeah.
So especially now with this new addition, I feel like we could add on to his record and just completely shut out the Bears offensively and defensively.
Yeah, but considering that the pressure might get to him a lot, Justin Fields is really good on the ground. He reminds me a lot of like what Lamar Jackson was like his first and a bit of his second season in the league. Like he's not that great in the air. He's very average in my opinion, but he's really good on the field on the ground. So that's something the Dolphins are gonna have to look out for. Again, considering that the run defense is probably the worst part of the offense, but that might look different now with Bradley Chubb in. And they just trade for Chase Claypool, so that's another weapon of theirs.
We just played him like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, X shut him down.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can do it again.
Do it again.
But yeah, it did give him another weapon. So another thing we have to look out for.
Yeah, he's got to be upset that he had to play him 2 weeks ago and right back again. But I think you give Justin Fields too much credit. I feel like he's below average passer. You see he's thrown for under 200 yards in 3 straight games. I just don't think that the Dolphins are going to have much of a problem with him. Thankfully, also on the defensive side, they did trade Roquan Smith because you never want to see Tua get hurt, and that's a good pass rusher as well. So I think this would be one of the easier games. The weather will play a factor just because the Dolphins are used to practicing and playing in this warm climate, and going up sometimes has an effect on players, but I don't think it's going to play too much of a role. I think it'll just be something they get over after like the first quarter.
Yeah.
They get into the flow of the game and start actually playing good.
I honestly think it's harder to play in severe heat
Yeah.
than severe cold. Because I feel like most teams in the NFL are already used to playing in chilly, cold weather, and when they come to Miami or they come to anywhere where the sun is really hitting them, they get really fatigued and tired really easily, and they just can't last all four. They just can't last all 4 quarters.
And I hate how big of a story the national media has made the Dolphins playing in cold weather when like a lot of these players didn't even grow up in Miami.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them came from up north in places where you get like regularly below like 40, 50 degrees. So it's not that big a deal in my opinion. I mean, yeah, we have people like Tua who grew up in Hawaii. Like he's probably more used to playing in Miami, but yeah, I don't think that's a big enough concern to make it such a talking point, the media side. But like you said about their defense, they just got torched by the Cowboys last weekend. They traded Roquan Smith, and they regularly give up like over 20, 23 points. Like they've allowed over 20 points, I think, every game except for one of their earlier games, and then the game against, obviously, that awful game against the Commanders on Thursday Night Football.
That was horrible.
But yeah, they regularly give up over 20 points, so I'm not too concerned about their defense. I think there's another game where our offense is going to ball out.
Yeah, I'm expecting one of our larger win margins for this next game going up. I mean, in terms of predictions, I'm saying 27-7 Fins.
Okay. I don't know. I think the Dolphins are actually going to put points. Like
Points?
Yeah, like I'm talking like Ravens type of points. Like
Guy, what happened in Detroit, bro? I'm still thinking about that.
it's still 31
Yeah,
points.
31.
though.
Yeah,
Like
but we allowed Detroit to be close.
yeah, but like I mean, you did mention that the Lions keep their games like close generally for the most part. Like they don't really ever get blown out by that big of margins, despite them having the record that they have. So I don't know, you were right on that front. I expected the Lions to not put up many points. I also expected the Dolphins to put up less points than they did. So I don't know. I think our offense is really gonna come out firing against the Lions. I mean the Bears.
You don't think 27-7 is a big enough margin?
Honestly, I'm thinking the Dolphins are gonna win 34-13.
Gee, let's hope you're right, bro. All right, truth. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna be closer to Alfredo. I just think that right now the Dolphins' offense is kind of getting into form. In my article I wrote this week,
There he goes, fucking his writing again.
Fucking the article, bro.
I said that Tua should be a league MVP candidate just because of
Really?
yeah. I mean, he did miss some time, but there's still a lot of football
Someone's
left.
reading his article, bro.
Yeah, you gotta read it. Wait, why are you surprised?
No, I'm surprised about you saying that Tua should be a league MVP. Like, I love the guy, but
You don't think so?
I don't know, saying Tua being like a NFL MVP candidate just seems like a little too premature in my
Comeback
opinion.
player of the year. Let's go.
Definitely comeback player of the year. I'll
Comeback
definitely
player
take
of the
that.
I just think that his best games this year have been at the top of the league. He can go up against anyone. With the Ravens game and now this past game, that past game was nearly perfect. Like he only had 6 incompletions or something.
Quarterback rating is up there.
He's the top. He leads the league in quarterback rating. So I just think with the way he's playing right now, the offense is playing better. I think the defense is going to have a better outing against Justin Fields. I'm giving them 33-10.
Gee, okay. Well, there you guys have it. That's it for this week on FinTech. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's Big Guapo.
I'm the leader of Tunon.
And it's your boy Ant. And the truth.
And the truth.
And the truth.
Oh my lord. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.